qu'on a en grande quantité au Québec.
We have a large quantity in Quebec of artificial intelligence. We're really good in the cities in Montreal and where we need to be independent of the United States and look at partnerships with Europe. So we're really, Mr. Carney and I, were on the same wavelength when we talk about the economy. And I look forward to, in the coming weeks and months, to have concrete projects for business to grow the economy, the new Quebec economy. We are also very much in agreement, Mr. Carney and I, that there is an urgency to reduce this enormous gap in productivity between Canada and the U.S. So the highest priority in Ottawa and Quebec City, you know how important it is to me. For the past 6 years, we have managed to close the wealth gap in Quebec with the rest of Canada, but unfortunately, Canada has not in recent years to close this wealth gap with the United States. So there is urgency to act. One of the ways to strengthen our economies is an infrastructure. We know, unfortunately, for all kinds of reasons, governments that were in power in the past have neglected infrastructure. So we have a big catch-up job to do. You've seen in the last Quebec Plan for Infrastructure that to double on an annual basis. It's really time for the federal government to do its part, and I was happy to see that in his platform. He alluded to hospitals and other infrastructure that need a bit of love. Our priorities in our discussions with Mr. Carney, besides the economy, the other big priority is immigration. For a long time, I'd say years, we've been talking about it, and I kind of felt alone when I mentioned it, but fortunately, even under the Trudeau government, they started working, they tightened up the Roxham Road and put in visas for Mexicans. There's been restrictions in the temporary workers. But it's not enough. It's not enough. And we need... I was happy again when we looked at the platform, Mr. Carney's plan. I was reviewing it again last night, where they're talking about three things. First, bring back immigration to sustainable levels and re-employ the asylum requesters that are waiting, and three, protect the French language. And that's how my priority remains the same when talking about immigration, about immigrants, temporary workers that are controlled by Ottawa. We went from 200,000 to 400,000. We have to come back to 200,000. So we'll continue to insist with Mr. Carney. To conclude, I also want to take the opportunity to thank Pierre Poilievre for his engagement to repatriating immigration to the government of Quebec, and also for insisting on the importance of the citizens over the course of the cost of life, problems caused by inflation and interest rates. And I also want to salute the leader of the Bloc Québécois, François Legault. I think he made a good campaign, and I'm counting on him to protect Quebec's interests in Ottawa. Thank you. Does Mark Carney owe one to Quebec? Because Quebec still gave him a close to majority. Does Mark Carney owe one to Quebec? Well, I think that Mark Carney has had good support in Quebec. I think Quebecers voted mainly for the economy. His vision, as I said, of the future of the economy is similar to mine. So, concretely, I expect to be announcing economic projects in Quebec. So I think that would be the best way Mr. Carney could thank Quebec. What is the strength with the Bloc? Well, there's a minority government, so we can listen to the electorate. There might be another election before 4 years, but I think all the governments want to maintain the support of the citizenship. So I think when we look at the result, and like Mr. Lacroix said, is he happy with the cabinet? Well, it's his prerogative, but it's probably going to be the same ministers. Did you work well with them in recent years? Oh, François-Philippe Champagne, I worked very well with him. So, do you think it's the same Liberal Party? You're happy that Mr. Carney is there for the economy? But is he different from Justin Trudeau? I think Mr. Carney even said he's more on the economy than Justin Trudeau. So when we met, we had a discussion on the economy, and we covered various sectors and maybe some trajectory for the economy. We're on the same wavelength. So there's a difference between Mr. Carney and Mr. Trudeau. On the economy, Mr. Carney says he wants a single Canadian economy instead of 13. Are you still on the same wavelength? Well, it depends how you define economy. I think what he's saying is a single market, and we agree on that. I've asked my ministers to work quickly to remove barriers among the provinces because we have the opportunity for a 41 million market, but we each have our own priorities. And, for example, in Ontario, Ottawa is more important, and here we have others. Each priority has its own. Alberta has oil. But that's not what Mr. Carney is saying. I think he's talking about the market. I think it's important that products from Canada should be sold easily across Canada.